It was tough packing up my truck to go out on this trip because I knew this would be the first solo trip without Sierra, and it was pretty difficult for me to drive over to this location. I kept looking in the back seat, but she wasn't there. The reason for coming over to this area is I wanted to fly fish this creek to the right, but I just didn't expect to have this much snow from the last snowstorm. I thought for sure it would have melted by now, but as you can see, it's pretty socked in, and the problem is you could slip on there and injure yourself. So I decided to go to a different area of northern Arizona. I know of this one spot where you can be right on the river, and there's actually some trout in here, which is great. I didn't have any luck catching any, but I tried. And it was just nice to be by the water. There was really clear, crystal clear, spring-fed creek that has wonderful nature sounds. I've just been super stressed over the past year with Sierra's illness, and so I just needed some downtime to decompress and get some sleep. I slept for 12 hours last night. I got in here at 9 o'clock, woke up once, and that was just to like readjust, kind of sleeping position, and then I went back to sleep, and I slept for, like I said, 12 hours. I haven't done that since college. That was an incredible night of sleep. I'm still I got like a little sleep hangover right now. But I'm getting my morning started here in the camper, and I took out all the stuff that I had in here as far as like the build shelves and all that stuff, and the shelves up here and everything like that. I'm gonna redo it in here. And I'll probably do it to where I build out one side and then I have my sleeping area on the other side, because if I can make it to where I have like a little area over here that maybe a little desk, to edit videos and things like that, and then a shelf up here for my clothes and just different items, I think that would really be ideal. And I'm trying to think of different ways that I would want to do that in here. I've got some ideas, but nothing really concrete yet. So we'll figure that out and get that going, and that way I'll jam on that this spring and have this available for truck camping. And it was really comfortable in here. I'm using that new Hess sleeping bag Hess sleeping pad that I picked up, and it's the double, and man, that thing is comfy. I spread it out onto the entire bed here, and it goes out to the tailgate. And then for the tailgate, let me show you what I'm using. Just using for a cover, I don't have my slide-in extension. I'm just using a couple flannel sheets, and that works fine. It works well. But this morning, what I want to do is get some breakfast going here. And what I've got is I've got some cheese, I've got eggs, and then I've got some nice everything bagels. I love these things. I make a nice little breakfast sandwich. And I've got some avocado too, but it's in the fridge. I'll have to reach through the pass through here and grab that. But I'm gonna make a little breakfast sandwich and kind of chill. It's a little cold this morning. It's only 35 degrees right now. It got down to freezing last night, and now it's warmed up a little bit. It's like 35, maybe a little bit warmer. But we don't have a whole lot of sun today, and I do need some solar, so we may roll to another location tomorrow that's a little bit more exposed. The problem is where I'm at now on this river is that there's a huge rock formation behind me here, and it's kind of like blocking out the chance of getting any solar today. So I might be in shade a good portion of the day, just depending on how low the sun hangs in the sky. And I'll probably have full shade over here by like 2 p.m. There's a huge rock formation right there, which is fine. It's supposed to get up to like, I think 50 today. So what we're gonna do is get our breakfast going, and then I'm gonna get some coffee going first too. And then we're gonna go fly fishing. And this is kind of a secret spot that one of my buddies told me about, but I'm right here on the river. And it's just right here, and it looks super deep. It's got tons of water in it. It looks like crystal clear because it's all spring-fed water. And apparently the rainbow trout parking around here, and the brown trout are a little bit further upstream. We're gonna hit that probably. Let's see, today's Wednesday. Is it Wednesday? Yeah, today's Wednesday, and then we're gonna hit that tomorrow. And so anyway, I tried to hit it yesterday when I was rolling through there, but there was so much snow, and I thought, I need to let that melt a little bit, because it's all just these rocks on the sides of the canyon or the river canyon there, and they're big rocks, and they're kind of wonky to walk on when it's not wet. And so when it's wet and icy, that's just a recipe for like turning an ankle or getting injured. Also too, you can fall when you have a fly rod in your hand and fall, and then you fall on your fly rod and snap it, and I don't want to do that. And so we'll poke around down here for another day, and then let the weather up there hopefully melted a little bit more. And then by like Thursday afternoon when we get up there, it's supposed to be 60 tomorrow up in that area. And so by tomorrow afternoon when we get up there, it should be melted out. Let's get our breakfast started here. All right. Today we're going with this sort of coffee right here. It's a dark roast. It's pretty good. It's roasted with love. That's locally roasted specialty coffee, and it's from Seligman, and they're really good. So I'm hoping that they open a coffee shop in Seligman eventually. I think Seligman's got great bones. I mean, it's it's kind of a rundown town at the moment, but that's because after when Route 66 went into kind of decline after the interstate, just the town itself just kind of fell apart with it. But there's so many cool old buildings there. Lots of stuff in the historic register. And you know how I love history, so I thought, man, this town has got the bones for it to be pretty cool if anybody ever decides to go there and really start investing in the town. I think that other people would do the same. The only thing is like, I do notice that there's kind of like a drug undercurrent in Seligman, and a lot of those towns that fell on hard times too. I mean, I saw it in Kansas, when like the dairy farmers all got booted out because they found natural gas throughout the area. So oh, we got to condemn your farm. You can't do food if there's natural gas around here, and they just took everybody's farms. And that happens when people become, when their prospects just dry up, and if it's out of their hands and stuff like that, a lot of people fall to self-medicating. I mean, I know exactly what that's about. Like when my career fell apart and I was on benzodiazepines, I mean, you kind of want to check out, And so I do think though that there are some younger people coming into town. I've met some of them through the channel that are moving out there, and I think that we have an opportunity to really shape that town to be something cool going forward. Because if you look at Ash Fork and all the building they're doing there, it seems like Ash Fork is the next to blow up, which is crazy to say that Ash Fork would ever blow up, but the fact of the matter is all these northern Arizona communities are pretty cool, and people want to get out of the city. And the one thing I do love about the land that is where I'm at is that they're pretty much all 40-acre parcels, except for mine. It's naturally subdivided because there's a road that went through there, and it cut it up into 3 different parcels. So that's why there's 3 parcels out of that 40-acre section. But even so with that, the people that own around me, they never come around, so I don't ever hear anything. And then the parcels to the north of me are not really buildable. There's like 4 40-acre parcels, and I don't know where you'd really build on those. And then to the south of me is a place where there's nobody at. Then there's state land, and there's state land to the west of me. And then behind me is a ridge. So I'm kind of insulated from having a bunch of people around me all the time, which is nice. And that's one thing about this area that keeps it quaint, is like those big parcels like that. It's just there's so much biomass between you and your neighbor, you just never hear them. It is a yard sale in here. Look at this. Got my stuff just thrown all over the place. It's kind of like my junk area over here. We're gonna make a bagel sandwich like I was saying, but it's definitely nice being back in the truck. I kind of like not having the slide down extension, because that always made it look so much smaller in here, and now it's kind of wide open back here. But I'll definitely do another slide out. I just don't know what I'm gonna do with that right there. And then this is the area where I'm probably gonna build the shelving. And then I left the little hooks up here in the deals. I've got to get a few more screws to complete this, but I could easily make another shelf up here that ties into these things. And that's what I recommend. If you have a roof topper, you can take these off, because if you look at them here, they're just little screws in there, and you just take a pair of pliers and go around this, and you can screw this off, and then you can tie into that and then line it up with your window jamb here, or your window frame. And you can make little shelves. I had that on both sides for those that are just now tuned into the channel that didn't see the old setup. So, but thinking that if I do that here, then I could sleep on this side, and then have an area over here to work, and have like a workstation with like a desk, like a legit desk and all that stuff, and some things to get things done, and I'd be in good shape. Just got done with lunch, or well, I guess breakfast, but it's technically lunchtime right now. It's noon. But I want to walk down to the river here and scope out some areas to possibly fish. So this is all spring fed. This is a creek that is pretty heavily protected, but there's one section where you can come into and camp literally right here by the water. Been down here. It's a pretty gnarly 4x4 to get here, but it's a pretty area and real nice and quiet. And there's some ruins I see up on the cliffs around here, which I'm gonna hopefully check out before I leave. I do need to get rolling to another spot though a day earlier because the weather forecast changed, and it's saying that the rain and snow is gonna start hitting a day earlier. But here's the water. You can see, I mean, it's 100% crystal clear. And reason for that, like I said, it's all spring fed. And this is a really slow moving section right here. I don't think there's going to be much trout in this area. There might be a few over by the rocks and things, but there is faster flow down there where the river kind of narrows up a little bit, and there'll be some rapids there. So I bet some fish will be parked in front of that. And then up here, there's a waterfall area that comes down, and I'll bet some fish will be parked at that section. So I'm going to walk down over here first, see if we can spot some fish in the water, and then we'll make our plan to come down here and throw some flies. Here's an area where I think there'd be trout. Wow, these pools are deep. Wow, look at this. These pools are really deep over here. This is cool. There's a lot of good habitat, like right over there, and those where those grasses underneath here. These hangs, I bet you that there's a lot here in this channel. I bet there's some chilling over there too. I think what I'm gonna do, I think I'm gonna get my gear on and park it above the stream here and throw it down, and then see what I can do. Or maybe get to the other side right over there, because it looks like I could back cast in that area. It looks like those reeds and willows and everything that's back in there is back a little way, so I could cast over here and throw it here and then let it stream down. And I'm gonna use a San Juan worm to start out with and see if we can get some trout from here. We're gonna fish this for about an hour, and then we'll come back and we're gonna fish this for about an hour, see what we can get. Just want to explain something real quick. This is the line holder that I have for my Tenkara setup. Pardon the gross thumb, my nail's about ready to come off. This line right here is a braided line, which is what I have this grasshopper pattern attached to. This braided line makes it to where you can cut through wind real easy, but I'm not gonna use that today. Instead, I'm gonna use this line, and it's just a simple nylon line. And probably, I don't know which flies we're going to use. Probably going to use the San Juan worm like I was talking about to start out with. And I may even throw that hopper pattern just to see if I can get any to come up from the river, like the main river channel. But we'll see what we can do. One thing I like about this is I could take this out with me and store extra flies in here, and then literally have this be my entire fly fishing setup. Because once this telescope's out, you just tie these to the end of the Tenkara line and you're jamming. All right, got skunked with fishing at that other spot. I didn't even see one fish, so I think they may have come further up the canyon, and I'm heading up to a spot where there's actually a campsite that's open, or a campground that's open. I'm not a big campground guy, but this area that I'm going into only has designated campgrounds because it's a pretty sensitive ecosystem, and so we're gonna go check it out and see what we can come up with. So I see that the trout are surfacing over here, and they're hitting something on top of the water. I don't exactly know what it is. I'm looking for whatever is rolling through here on top, and I can't see. So I think what we're gonna do is, I've got the flies right here, and I think we're gonna go with a red San Juan worm. Those always work really well. And if that doesn't work, then we probably will switch gears and go with what's looked at as, like, they consider them like shrimp. That's a little scud, these little green ones, right? Actually, that's what I'm probably going to start out with. That always works really well when in cold water. So we're going to start out with that, and then we'll go to a worm and see if that works. But literally, like, right there is where they keep rising, and I've seen them in the water. They're pretty big, so we'll see what we can coax out here. Hopefully we can get one. So this beautiful area of Arizona has a self-sustaining brown trout population in this section of the stream. And the springs in it keep it cool enough in the summertime to where they can easily survive. There's no issue, although the outside temp, I mean the air temp, can get up almost to like 100 degrees. But as you can see down in here by looking down into the water, it is crystal clear. It's actually really cold. I know that because I fell in the water twice. So not very successful trip, and about the only thing I did was eat humble pie all day. But it was still great to be out on the water and super relaxing. These deep pools that you see right here, you know, it's really incredible terrain for trout. And I actually got some footage of some brown trout, which I'll show right here. They're just swimming in the river. They started to wake up as the temperatures started to get warmer. But like I said, I fell in the river and it kind of put a kibosh on the day. That was unsuccessful. I fell into the river and I'm completely soaked from about here all the way down. So my feet even, or it's like I'm swamping around in galoshes. It's just completely swamped out. I did see some great fish, but I just didn't get it in on the line. And actually, I fell into the river pretty early into fishing and stuck it out for a little bit, but I'm just too cold. I'm like freezing right now. So we're gonna pack up and head out, and I'm not sure where we're headed next. May go back to my place or may go check out some ruins on the way. So we'll see.